Welcome to the Back Nine Six Pack with Mitch and Justin. Let's roll.
Hello and welcome to episode 129 of the Back Nine Six Pack. My name is Mitch, joined as always by my esteemed colleague Justin. Happy New Year.
Yeah, Happy New Year to everybody. It feels like we haven't recorded in 5 months.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I feel like I haven't seen you in, it was man dinner or whatever, but that's like 3 weeks ago.
Yeah, at this point. And, I found, so internally, this whole like holiday, the run up, right? Like the 4 or 5 days before Christmas, and then like the week between them and New Year's, and then after. So I saw a guy do a video, and I was like, this feels like it's the longest one ever.
Yeah.
Well, because it probably is, if you do the math, because your kid with the Christmas falling on a Thursday,
mm-hmm.
Christmas Eve falling on a Wednesday, your kids are not going to go to school Monday, Tuesday. So they're off the whole week, right? Leading up to Christmas. But then that puts New Year's Day on a Thursday and New Year's Eve on a Wednesday. Your kids are not going to go back to school for one day, right?
Yep.
18 days.
Oh my God.
18 days.
So like, your kids didn't have school today, did they?
No.
Yeah. So I know a lot of people took this Monday off too. It was like teacher and service day and stuff.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah. But they do go back tomorrow. Thank God. But it's nowhere near like last year. Last year, it was a slightly longer break. I think it was like 16, 17 days, somewhere in there.
Yeah.
But if you remember, we got hammered with a snowstorm.
I do.
My kids had 2 snow days after Christmas break, and then they went to school for 2 days, and then they had a snow day that Friday. So nowhere near as bad as last year. So I'm not going to complain, but it felt like the longest like holiday season ever. It really did.
Yeah. Yeah, plus you had the late, like we said, you had the late Thanksgiving, so that kind of like just rolls right into it in some ways. So I know it's tough. You staying home too probably made it feel a little bit longer as well.
It did. It's funny, like when we travel for Christmas, it feels like it just like that, like in a snap of a finger, it's over. When you're here, and then we had family come in that week between Christmas and New Year's, and not because of them. It just like we had some stuff going on, but like not a ton. You're at your own house. Like it kind of drugged by, it was slow.
We, how it's supposed to be, restful, relaxing, heading into the new year, all that stuff. No,
not for you guys.
Never can be. We went, let's see, day after Christmas, Susie's family, somebody got a stomach bug and it just ran through everybody. Right. So I'm up at 3 a.m, cleaning up puke, taking the kids to the doctor as soon as possible, all of that whole thing. That happens, and it's right on. We're supposed to go see Hamilton. So this is like our big date night. We bought tickets in July, like it's the whole thing. We had reservations for months for dinner. End up not being able to go. Sick. So that cancels that. Then we think we're in the clear. Everything's good. It hit Susie later, like after the fact. So she got hit with it the day after New Year's, like a week later. And so she's down and out. We'd also decided to start potty training our almost 3-year-old. I am just the opposite of rested. Like this, I'm just limping into 2026, barely surviving.
I was going to say, yours sounds a lot worse than mine, but man, I just like, usually you get to the second and third, and I'm like, all right, I'm ready to go. Like, I'm like, I'm ready to I'm like, crazy as it sounds, like, I'm ready to get back to work. Like, I'm ready to just get back in like the daily grind of things. And I'll tell you, man, yesterday, I know I didn't, I had to work today, but I had kids around, and it was like, I'm dragging, right? I told you, I'm drinking coffee at 9:45 at night. Like I'm just very low energy. And as crazy as it is, like I usually get really bad seasonal depression, and it's kind of bad right now just because it's like, it's kind of gloomy. Like when we get warm days in the winter, it's not sunny, there's no way it's going to be sunny. But like mine's more of just like, and we've got warm weather right now, but like, I'm just like, I'm dragging. I'm majorly dragging right now. So I can feel that. I can feel that for you.
Yeah, shaking off the cobwebs today was a tough scene. Like just trying to remind. It's truly like all the memes you see of like trying to remind yourself what you were doing at work or whatever. Yeah, that was.
And the crazy thing is like we had a run up. Like you had like a 4-day run up to like get ready for it, and it's like I think it made it worse. Like January 2nd, tear the Band-Aid off. Let's get this thing. I'm serious. Like you would think like having a 3-day period of like, all right, I don't have to do anything, after the new year, and then it's like it's almost worse. It is almost worse.
I think we would have been good if Susie didn't get sick. We didn't have like our. We would have had so much time to get everything ready, and it just all got crammed into Sunday afternoon, and that's a recipe for disaster.
Because, like, it kind of sounds like you might be, like, I love the holidays. Like, I go to parties, and, I dressed up as Santa this year a couple different times, and I love all that. Like, but, man, when I get to, like, New Year's Day, I'm like, done. Like, get the Christmas stuff down. Like, let's move on with our, like, to me, it's like the sooner that stuff comes down, the closer we are to summer, like nicer weather. We get on the other side of the time thing. Like we're getting more time added to the clock here for daylight. I just feel like as soon as that's over, it's like, all right, let's move past this quickly and get moving the other direction so we can get into summer and nicer weather.
Yeah, we typically would, we'd leave the Christmas tree up or whatever through New Year's, just, cozy vibes, whatever. We took it down like the day after. Like once the kids got sick, we were just cleaning the house. Everything's going away. Yeah. So it was a short fuse on that for us too. So,
well, unfortunately we had a Christmas on the 27th with family coming in. So we couldn't really do that, but New Year's Day, it was down. Like I woke up New Year's Day, and stuff was already starting to get taken down without my directive. So I was like, I'm good with that. Not much directive was going to be done anyway on that day because it was a slow moving morning for me for sure. But yeah, I'm ready to move on. We're on the other side of it now. We got summer in our sights now.
100%. It is. I mean, turn the calendar. We get through. We'll probably get into this with our goals and whatnot. Get through dry January, survive February, and then all of a sudden, boom.
See, to me, February is so short. You just got to survive January. Like, survive January. February is done in a blink.
Oh.
And then now you're cooking with gas after that,
Yeah, I just find February is usually the most gloomy month,
Yeah,
Plus
that's fair.
End of football season too happens. You're just like, then you're in the void,
Yeah, the Super Bowl happens, and then you're like, damn, dude, March Madness is like a month away. So it's like you don't even get the satisfaction of rolling right into that. You have like a whole month void of, kind of crappy conference basketball games.
Ugh.
Until you hit March Madness near the end of March. So.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you all for listening. Again, Happy New Year to all of you. Subscribe, rate, and review the show. We appreciate that. Follow us on social media at Back96Pack. And this is one of our favorite episodes to do every year, I think. At least it's mine. We're doing the Goals podcast. We'll go through our successes and failures from last year, set some new ones for this year. I kind of took a little different approach to mine this year, which we can get into, but do you want to lead us off kind of running through your 2025?
Yeah. So mine's more, in the past was like, oh, I want to do this. I want to do that. I want to make the cut at this tournament. I have one that's like a result oriented, but the rest of it's a lot of process. And I told you via text today, I said, our main focus this year is like managing expectations. Like that's the main focus, right?
Yeah.
And not to be mistaken with, because you're like, well, you have to have a standard. I'm like, totally agree. To me, managing expectations and having a standard are very different things, right?
Sure.
So the standard's not changing, but the managing of like, hey, there's just going to be times when I get out on the golf course and it's just not going to be good, period. Like to think I'm going to go out every single time and be good at 30, by the time we get around really golfing, I'll be 36 years old, 3 kids, job. It's just not realistic, right? Like just not realistic. But I think there's things within this process that I'm going to talk about that, just very small thing, like very small targets, could lead to the things that I want to happen, right? Or I think I'm capable of doing.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a great set. Yeah, for me, like I'll just talk high level about that. Then we can run through what we did last year. But for me, I've just been feeling this strong pull of like in life in general, like wanting to slow down a little bit and just like finding more joy again. I don't know what has happened to me in the last like 5 years, but I swear to God, like it just feels like things have gotten progressively more dark's not the right word, but like I just want to find joy in a lot of the things that I used to find joy in that just sometimes haven't given me that. Golf is kind of at the top of that list, to be honest with you. So you'll see when I get into some of these goals, there's like some real things you probably would not expect out of me, which is and some fun ones, honestly, which is cool.
Yeah. So I'll start with my first one here. This is something
before you do this. I want to recap 2025.
Okay. All right. Let me go back to mine.
Are you prepared to do that? You want me to go first?
Yeah, go first.
Okay. All right. 2025 for me was golf heavy. I broke my goals down into golf, health and wellness, and personal. And I think I had most in the golf category. That has flipped massively for 2026, which we'll talk about. Okay, running through these real quick. My top one had been for the last couple of years to get a handicap index that started with a 5. Massive directional movement in the wrong way. All the way, we ballooned up to an 8. That was a failure, clearly. So we'll tuck that away and come back to it. Something that was a win for me. So the stack last year was my big kind of push for getting better at golf.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't show up in the handicap, but I think I played a little bit better golf, surprisingly. I wanted my driver club head speed to get to 110 miles an hour and then maintain it above 105 or higher. I was able to do that. My last recorded driver speed in my app is 108, so I stayed above it throughout the bulk of the season, and I touched 110. Actually, I got up to 114 on one swing one time. And my ball speed up over 160 for the first time that I've ever recorded ball speed stuff. So
just for the record, the times I play with you, you were definitely longer this year.
Thank you. So yeah, like that, I'm counting it as a massive success. I also had it on here. I want to do 4 stack programs. The appendix surgery set me back, various other things. We had a kid in August. So like I got through 2. So not quite 4, but I think having done it now, like in understanding it better, 4 would have been so many. They're very long programs and like it just would have been way too much. So there was that. Another golf goal, record at least one round at or under par on each of the 3 9s at our course. I only did that on the red course this year. Did not shot 37 on blue and white, of course, but didn't get it at par or better. 10 league night rounds without a double bogey or worse. I only got 7. Last year I got 9. So we're kind of tracking, but more double bogeys this year, it felt like. I wanted to play 8 non-tournament 18-hole rounds of golf. I got 6 in, just a down generally from a rounds perspective this year for me. And then my last golf goal was to win 1 Elks event or the Turkey Open. I can report I did none of those things, so that was an X on that one. Health and wellness real quick. I had a goal weight goal. Didn't really sniff that. I'm not going to worry about that this year. We've got other goals we're going to look at. I did complete at least 3 calendar months last year. No drinking and no sweets. I did that in January, April, and August. That was cool. I wanted to complete 1,000 miles of cardio, 500 of it running, and then whatever else. Again, surgery set me back, things like that. After I ran the race, like I had to push so hard in my training that I kind of injured myself. Yeah. So I just did not run the rest of the year. So don't think I hit that goal. And then I also did not hit my goal to run the half marathon at an hour and 58 minutes or better. And then last but not least, personal goals. I will never make another reading goal again. This has been on my list for years and I never do it. I wanted to read at least 6 books. That was dropped down from 12 from the past 5 years. I don't think I read one book front to back, so that didn't happen. And then the last 2 here, I wanted to do 12 no screen days or nights. I think we did 2 of these throughout the year, which were awesome doing them, going analog or whatever, but we just did not commit to doing it that often. And then I wanted to play golf with Zach 5 times. We did it 4 times. But caveat, we also went to Top Golf twice. So, like, you know,
that
I think
counts.
we kind of
His age, that counts.
The spirit of the goal was met with that one. And yeah, so that was really quick, but that was my rundown of my goals from last year. So a mixed bag, a lot of things that was easy to make an excuse for, possibly a real excuse, and the fact that I had a surgery I wasn't expecting to have, and a kid. So I think I'd need to be a little kinder to myself on not getting some of these.
Yeah. I think that's after doing some reflection. Some of these goals that I made last year, in hindsight, are like lofty. Like, you know what I mean? Like, well, yeah, pretty lofty.
For me, it's like, okay, I wanted to have a handicap start with a 5. Okay, you're having a kid in August. Like, what?
Yeah.
It wasn't a year for that, you know? Yeah. I gotta read the room a little better on some of these.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. No, definitely. All right. So I started out 2025, I said win the club championship and the match play. Club championship, obviously, broke my putter. Probably the absolute worst putting round I had all year. Kind of talked about it a little last show that I putted a lot better this year.
Yeah.
That was really the only round where I can remember where I was just like, no, it just wasn't good, right? So I didn't do either of those. Made the final match play, ended up losing my final match. Win the Stampede or McGonigal, didn't do either of those. We had a good showing in the McGonigal. I think we shot 7 under in alternate shot, which was a highlight. Stampede, we lost our final match by a half shot and ended up missing. We ended up, I think, tying the flight, but we lost the tiebreaker, obviously, because we lost to the team that ended up tying us. So, again, came close. Just a lot of these that I didn't, for the most part, didn't get, like, especially those two, it's like I was right on the doorstep. But when we get into, like, some of the statistics and things like that for this year, you know, it's crazy how much a 0.5% or 1% and something getting better or worse drastically changes the outcome. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
it does. It really, and especially in golf, you know. Next one is one I hit. Average less than 30 putts per round. I was at 29.6 for the year.
Damn.
Yeah. So down from 30.4 the previous year. Again, like I said, you know, that's almost a whole shot, right? That I got better in putting, if you want to look at it that way. Average 4.5 par 5 scoring. I was close. I mean, really, if you look at it, I was close. I was at 4.67, but not quite there. And that's another one where you look at, you're like, just lowering it like 0.1%, right? Like, that's a lot. Like, you're talking like 3 or 4 more birdies on par 5s, right? So that was one I'm like looking at. I'm like, I think I played the par 5s pretty good this year. And I was still kind of far off from it, right? Like at 4.67.
Yeah.
Make Met match play. It was the worst 2 days of golf I think I've played this year was in the Met. That will not be making an appearance this year. Like I said, we're a little more the goals are a little more process oriented than they are, results driven.
Yeah.
Win a format in the tournament we play in the Tri-State. That was down in Bowling Green this year at Old Stone. Win a format in the Tri-State and place top 5 as a team. Once again, played pretty good in alternate shot. I think we were like 2 or 3 off the pace in that. We shot 3 under an alt shot, but the best ball day just killed us. We were 3 over. I think we came in like 18th total. Not a particularly great showing the first day, which kind of cost us everything after that. Top 2 in the GCGA Mid-Am. I'm going to give myself an asterisk on this one. It ended up falling on the first day of school, like the first day. No chance, like 0 chance I was going to be able to play in that. Yeah. I had a kid starting kindergarten this year. Like it's one thing when your kids are in school, like it's their second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth year. Hey, go over to neighbor's house. They'll get you on the bus, or grandma and grandpa are going to get you on the bus. Kid's first day of school ever. that was not going to happen. No chance.
Right.
And make a hole in one. That was my other. That did not happen this year. God dang it! Did I come close a couple times this year? I really did. I came very, very close a couple times. Still, that is going to be back on the list. It has to be.
Oh.
And then my other like process oriented, like simulator or range once a week. It wasn't once a week, but I did get out into the simulator a decent amount over the winter.
Yeah.
I probably, once we got to the summer, just didn't hit quite enough range balls to like even just warming up. Like there was a lot of times I just show up and go, right?
Yeah.
Because and at our stage in life, I would take doing a range session would be like warming up before a round, and I just didn't do that. I didn't do that enough this year. Putt on my green once a week. I did not do that once a week, but I did it a lot. Obviously, my putting got a lot better. And then I had to get under 210 pounds by Scotland trip. I was 225 when we made that trip, so I got close. Not quite there, but I felt good, and I never was tired over there. So I think I didn't hit that goal, but I think I did a really good job of like doing cardio and stuff and getting ready for that trip. That walking 5-6 miles really didn't bother me that much. I never really got tired during a round. So
nice. Well, that was 2025, and I think it is definitely time to officially turn the page to 2026. Do you want me to run through all of them? Do we want to like?
Why don't we go you one, me one? We'll just kind of go back and forth.
Sure, I got a ton.
Okay. But I don't have that many, as crazy as that sounds.
Like I said, I don't have that many in the golf and health and wellness like I did previously. I've got a ton of just personal ones that are. I mean, honestly, some of them are just kind of like things I want to do, not necessarily like an actual goal, but. We can do that.
Like doing something is a goal.
Yeah. All right, I'll run through my 3 golf ones, and then you can take over with your golf.
That sounds good.
Okay, so big goal. We're not doing the starting with the 5s on the handicap, but we're going to get the handicap back into the 6s. We got to have a recovery year here after smoking all the way up to an 8. And I got 2 other ones that are going to help me do that. One, going back to the stack. I got to maintain that. I want to get faster. I think it massively raised my floor, even though my handicap didn't show it. And then 2, so I'm going to complete 2 of those stack training program sessions again. And then the second one, I'm going to get and use a golf tracking app this year. I've heard a lot of good things about things like the Grint app and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I need to have a year of diagnosis if I want to actually get better. I got to better understand why I play golf the way I do.
Yeah, and it's funny. I think I talked to our guy 5'4", and he was telling me that him and Tom they've been tracking stats for quite some time now.
Mm-hmm.
And I have to maybe get their app and do their app because I think it tracks everything I want to track. But I agree with that. Like I love the Gin app, I do, but I want something outside of that because there's been a couple times where I'm like, man, I don't want to go through every hole. Like and just put in the score, right? So I don't forget to put in my score. I think if I have to go to another app, it's going to really force me to like, at some point in the next day or 2, go through and like actually track those stats. So
yeah, I'm pretty sure it was the 2 of them that told me about the Grint app, and I think
maybe that's the way.
It does like basically it'll tell you like where you're better than like an average golfer or your handicap, and like what it'll tell you is, okay, you may be hitting the ball like a 2 handicap, but you are putting it like a 10.
Yeah,
it'll do stuff like that.
I like that because we don't sit around after a round and go like talking to other people like, oh, you're a 7 handicap. Like, what do your stats look like this year? You know what I mean? We just don't. No one does that. So it would be nice to be like just pull data from their users and be like, all right, so compared to a 7 handicap or a +1 handicap, where I kind of stand in greens and regulations and putting and up and downs and things like that.
Yeah, so which I think that'll give me more of a game plan. Even if it doesn't happen this year, heading into 2027, ideally I've got some sort of a roadmap to actually improve my game. I'm probably right now it's just all vibes. Like I just assume like, oh, I putt pretty good.
Well. Yeah.
I'm hitting driver better. Like, but I don't, I couldn't tell you anything, especially because, most of my rounds have been coming in league. So like they post a score for us. So like, I'm not even going in the Gin app and like, putting my scores in for myself. Yep. So
yeah, I would say the one thing for me when I track stats, the only thing I do differently than probably 98% of people is when we're talking about driving the golf ball.
Yeah.
I count whether I have a shot in the green or not. Yeah. I don't count fairways. Like, we're not playing U.S. Open courses. Like, we don't have to keep it in the fairway, right? I count whether, like, I actually have a viable approach shot into a green, right? That's no trees, no obstructions, no heather. If I'm sitting in the rough with a shot at the green, to me, that is, at our level of golf, that is golden. Like, that's way better than the other alternatives, right? Yeah. And a lot of lost shots from people from maybe, say, like amateur golfers from a +3 to 18 handicap is how many strokes do they lose when it's just like, oh, I'm in the trees. Oh, just made 8.
Yeah.
So to me, having a viable shot into the green is really the stat that should be tracked.
Yeah, so I'll investigate that and report back to you on what I find.
Okay.
All right, do you want to jump in with your golf ones?
Yep. So I'm going to start out with the one, like, results-oriented goal.
Sure.
And I don't have this set to any particular event, but I want to get back on the winning side of an event at our club this year. This is the first year I've never won anything out there. Like, usually it's like, oh, I won match play, or I won the McGonigal, or, dating back to my first year, won the club championship. Didn't win anything this year. And I don't care what event, none of the scramble ones, obviously, but like something that's, team oriented, or individual that I want to win something again this year.
Yeah.
It was disappointing.
Trophies on the shelves, getting some dubs. I support it.
Yeah. So that's like my one, like, results oriented. That's the one I wanted. I felt like that's obtainable, right? Like, it's not narrowing it down. Like, I want to win this event. It's like, I just want to win an event, right? Like, get back in the W column.
For sure.
So next one, this is, I guess it's kind of results oriented, but to me this year, when I got myself in trouble, it was just missing greens. I hit 66% of my greens.
That's really good, by the way.
It's not, but like what we talked about, right? It went down 1% this year.
Yeah.
From last year. Well, what do we just talk about the putting? Like, the difference between not even a full stroke, right? It felt like I was like this amazing putter this year.
Yeah.
Right. So increasing that by 1%, getting back to where I was in 2024, not lofty, really. I mean, I already did it. I've already done it. I did it in 2024. Getting back to 67% of the greens hit. Again, just 1%. I'm like, it's not crazy, but I feel like 1% from the holes that I just going through my head today when we were talking about goals. The holes that I got in trouble on were when I was not on the green, like, and I had a shot into the green, right? So that's my next one. The other one is I'm gonna come up with a pre-shot routine that is fully not, just based on committing to the shot. That's it. No, not like, all right, like, what am I, I'm going to cut it here. My goal is to take as much out of it and just like, where do I want this ball to land on the green? And then just aim and commit and hit, right? Take all the negative thoughts out of it. And it's not really measurable. I know that. But I think coming up with a pre-shot routine that I do every single time, because I'm not really a pre-shot routine guy. I've never really been that. And I'm not talking like, I'm going to take 45 seconds over the ball to like commit to a shot. I'm like, pick a club, and maybe a goal is like never to go back for another club, right? Like if I'm on a par 3 and par 3 scoring was horrendous for me this year, I went up like 0.3 shots on par 3s. Like don't go back and get it. Like pick a club, like get a yardage, wind, all that, pick a club, hit it. There was too many times this year I remember getting a club on a par 3 and going, I don't know. And then going back and changing or even doing it a couple times. Like, not going to do that this year. We're going to come up with a pre-shot routine where it's like, get a club, hit the shot, and then deal with the results, right? Like, I think we've talked about this before, right? Just hitting your ball and, like, chasing it. Like,
yeah.
You trying to control your outcome is only going to make things worse. But getting a pre-shot routine together this year is on the list.
Yeah, that's definitely worthwhile. Golf is so hard because like everybody says, just commit to every shot and like you'll play better or whatever. It is so hard to commit to a golf shot. Like truly, I've tried to do that for rounds where it's like I've told myself before the round, like the only thing you will do today is like commit to the golf shot you're about to hit, and it's freaking hard to do that just for 18 holes.
Yeah. It's a lot easier when you're playing well. No doubt about it. And it's a lot easier to do it when you're not playing in a tournament or some kind of event. Way easier to do it then.
Yeah.
To me, if I'm like, okay, this pre-shot routine, right? If it gets me committed 50% more of the time, how much better am I going to get? Probably a lot, because I know many a times this year things start going sideways and all of a sudden it's thinking about where the results could go rather than just being like, get a club, take a swing, deal with it, kind of deal. Yeah. And I think once you accept the fact that you have almost zero control other than taking the club back and hitting it, like, I think it's a little easier to accept. So
it just goes back to being an athlete, right? Because it's the whole thing of like, picking a target and just hitting it to the target makes so much sense athletically, right? Like, when you're throwing a ball, you're looking at what you're throwing at and you're throwing it to it. You're not thinking how you're throwing it to it, right?
Yep.
So it's like, I appreciate that mindset of kind of just simplifying things for yourself.
Yep. And then I just typed self-awareness. I know that's very vague. And I think this is going to be opposite of what I think people are probably thinking that means. There was too many times this year where I tried to play a style of golf that just wasn't me.
Sure, yeah.
Whether that be being a little more conservative on some stuff. It's like, what do they say? Like, teams that, like, in basketball is a big one, right? Like, teams that can dictate how the game's played, like play their way, are a lot more successful than teams that try to play a bunch of different styles to fit who they're playing, right?
Yeah.
And too many times this year, and this is more specifically like off of our golf course, right? Trying to play golf a way that fits the course better than just playing golf the way I play golf, right? Which is generally more aggressive, right? Like I am an aggressive player. And I think that kind of ties in with the commitment thing, because there's so many times this year on other golf courses where it was like, I would get done with the round and I'd go back and like, if this was my home golf course and I had a similar shot, would I have laid up or would I have done this? Probably not. I would have probably gone for it or taken a little more aggressive swing at it. And so with that being said, like, just self-awareness of like, know what your game is. And again, going back to like committing to the type of golfer you are.
Yeah, I like that a lot. That's kind of going back to my goals. Like, I didn't have any of those real results oriented ones like I have in the past, like winning tournaments and stuff like that. And part of that is because what I've realized, what I enjoy so much about golf is kind of the work of golf and like this, I like the stats and I like the stuff around it a lot. Like, I like the thinking of golf. So my focus this year is just kind of like, just get better at golf, right? Like, it's not, I don't care what happens. Like let's just work at it kind of thing. So.
And the way I kind of thought about this goal was, obviously I'm a Packers fan. I was like, I would compare myself a lot to Brett Favre, right? Like, you're going to deal with the interceptions because he's also going to throw 5 touchdowns, right?
Sure.
It might be 3 interceptions, but he's going to have more touchdowns than interceptions. And, you know, I know we always kid about the shot I hit in the Stampede and, like, went in the weeds. And it's like, to me, like, outside looking in, if I'm my partner, right, I'm like, how many birdies did I make that weekend? Or how many birdies did I make it around because I played the way I play? And again, the mess up came at the wrong time, right? And they're going to come at the wrong time sometimes. But how much more am I going to get out of myself just sticking to a way I play golf and, you know, hitting those shots that is like, oh, I wouldn't have done that, but he did it, right? Like, and I make a birdie where I probably shouldn't have, you know, or make more birdies than I should have just because I'm playing that style of golf. But then what I got into this year was, it was like a hodgepodge of like playing conservative and this and that.
Yeah.
And then what ends up happening is I don't make as many birdies as I should, but then I also bring in big numbers too. So it's like, and that's kind of what I saw kind of looking back on some of my scorecards. I'm like, well, no wonder, like I'm playing conservative here for 5 holes and then got aggressive on these 7 holes. But then it's like you start evening them out. It's like I didn't give myself enough chances to like offset some of the big stuff, right?
Yeah, so, I mean, those things go hand in hand too, right? Like, if you're trying to play a different style of golf than you normally do, like, think about how hard it is to commit to that, right? Like, talk about committing on one hand and self-awareness on the other. It's 2 sides of the same coin.
You're thinking about 2 different things on 2 different holes, right?
Yeah.
So
makes a ton of sense.
But that was my last golf-related one.
Nice. All right, I'll run through my health and wellness category here. First off the bat, I talked about the 3 sober months or whatever I did last year, and we were doing dry January. I think I'm just going to go full send, dry Q1. We're going until the end of March. I'm going to be, and that ties into the fact that my next goal is I want to PR the Flying Pig half marathon this year, which means I need to beat a 159.06 that I set in 2023. I'm just going to go full health right off the bat of the year. We're just getting things back on the rails to start this year.
So I've got a similar goal for that. Mine was to make it to Super Bowl Sunday.
Oh, I like that too.
Because I'm going to be honest with you. It's not going to happen. Like, Super Bowl Sunday rolls around. It's not going to happen. It's just not. Like, totally it's just not.
Especially
I know myself, it's just not.
The test for you is going to be getting through any Packers games that lead up to that point.
Yeah, when we get to the football discussion, we're going to talk about that because I will tell you, it's bleak right now. But
yeah, we'll get there.
But I'm going to try to make it to Super Bowl Sunday.
Okay,
the way I look at it, I'm like, you know, I always do like, oh, January's over, you know, February 1st, have a beer, right? Then I'm looking, I'm like, I just like. This year was like, I just had a beer to have a beer. That's just kind of dumb.
Feels sad.
Well, no, not sad. Just like the first time I did dry January, it was like, oh my God, this is so great. Like I felt, I'm like, I'm like, how did I go a whole month? You know, whatever. But this past year, I was like, man, I'm like, I just kind of had a drink to have a drink. And it wasn't even like for any reason other than it was February 1st.
Yeah.
But I want to say February 1st might fall on a Friday this year. So don't take my word at that. It might. So
I think it's a Sunday.
Is it?
Sunday. Yeah.
Let me see. Because I was like, if it's a Friday, that's just
a Sunday. It's a Sunday with no football too. So.
Oh, that'll be easy. Yeah.
You just got to go an extra week to make it a Super Bowl Sunday. You'll be fine. Yeah.
Yep. So that was my goal, was like Super Bowl Sunday. So I'm adding 15 days in there, 14 days. No, Super Bowl Sunday's on
to the 8th. So yeah,
the 8th. So I'm adding like 8 days to it.
Yeah, you're going almost 40 days.
I'll tell you, I'm setting that as the goal because I know myself and I'll probably end up drinking on Super Bowl Sunday. But like it might get there and like I might be sick and just not, you know, and maybe I make it longer. But that's the goal, is to make it to Super Bowl Sunday.
Yeah, I'm trying to go at least to April 1st. And depending on how things fall, you know, if I don't have a real reason, like we might end up till May. Who knows?
Yeah.
So we'll see. And then so on top of the half marathon, I want to run 2 official timed races next year or this year. So obviously the half pig will be one, but then I want to find one throughout the year at least to get another one ticked off. We're running back the miles goal. I'm gonna run 500 miles this year. And I think the training for those 2 races, I'm gonna get there, assuming I keep all of my organs intact. So
yeah, no more organs getting taken out of your body. Let's try. Maybe that should be a goal this year.
Yeah, no surgeries would be a good goal.
Yeah,
unless I elect to have a surgery, which I might. We'll see. And then the last health and wellness one. I'm a huge hiking fan. Some of my happiest moments the last few years have been when we've gone out west and done some really cool hikes. It doesn't have to be that big to get out there and do a hike, right? Like it can be around here. There's a lot of good parks and places in kind of the tri-state area here. So I want to take and track 3 hikes this year. That's my other health and wellness.
That's pretty doable.
Yeah, I just want to get outside and get out in nature a little bit. It's just so restored. That to me, that's like spirituality for me.
Yep.
Yeah, kind of getting lost in nature a little bit.
Yep. Well, I already went over my one, so I haven't made it to Super Bowl Sunday. Is that all for you, by the way?
That's all for health and wellness, yeah.
So Super Bowl Sunday, drinking, that's the goal. My second goal is to stretch for 30 minutes 3 times a week. That's
so good.
And the reason I just can kind of when we were going back and forth in text, I was like, it just felt like I probably did too much powerlifting last winter. I'll admit it. I told you, I was like, I know I can leg press and squat way more than I've ever cared to in my entire life right now. But I think a lot of that was I was so worried about getting strong last year, the stretching and anything like that just was non-existent. So, without getting too much into lifting weights, I'm committing to doing lighter weight and stuff like that, but I want to get more flexible. I've never really been extremely flexible in my life, but I feel like if I can commit to 30 minutes for 3 days a week, I'm going to see the benefits. And then also what I talked about is just the small aches and pains and the shoulder here, hip, knee tightness. And I feel like if I can commit to three days a week, 30 minutes, that all that stuff's going to go away. I can almost guarantee it.
Yeah, that's such a good one. I've tried to do that in the past and just never stuck to it. But this past year doing the stack stuff, doing the warm-ups before the actual workouts.
It's
crazy how much functional strength and flexibility you pick up just from doing that stuff.
Well, and what I thought about it is last year I committed to stretching before I lifted because I'm look, I'm 34, 35 years old. I used to need to roll into the gym to start, putting up reps. But I committed to warming up, stretching, not crazy stretching, but warming up. You would be shocked at how much better your muscles move if you just not even much to get a band and just pull on a band for 5 minutes and you'll be shocked at how much better your muscles react to things and work, right? And that's golf, hiking, anything you do. Stretching is it just gives you a chance to you don't roll out of bed and hop right into your day, right? You get up, you get some coffee, you warm up, right? Your muscles are no different. So I kind of took this from lifting last year and actually warming up to now I'm if I can commit to 30 minutes, I really think I could get a lot more flexible.
Yeah, no, you got full support from me on that one. I might even try to join you on that somehow, but I need a plan if I'm going to do it.
This is kind of golf related. It's more health and wellness. I'm committed to walking. I'm going to say this. I think I'm going to end up being able to play in 15 league nights. I'm committed to walking 12 of those. That gives me 3 weeks in league where it's if it's 95, I'm not walking, right? I feel there's 2 or 3 nights of the year where you're like, I'm not, like, it's hot out here. Like, I'm not doing this. So I'm committing to walking 12 league nights this year.
Are you going to carry again?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I starting to look at golf bags and getting back into the carry stand bag game. And if that happens, I may join you on the actual getting out there and carrying a bit.
I'll be honest with you. Like, with my bag and how light it is, it to me seems easier than doing a push cart. I think
there's some hills out there at our course where it's like,
I want that weight on my back. I don't want to be pushing it in front of me. I'm like, this might as well be doing sleds out here. You know what I mean? Like, push sleds. Like, so I think at times it's a lot easier to carry. There's certain moments where you're like going down a hill and you're like, damn, man, I wish I could just push this cart down there. But you got to carry it down the hill. But I think a lot of times, like, I've realized, I'm like, this feels easier than a push cart.
Yeah, and I think for me too, like, kind of like I said, kind of trying to find the joy back in some things. Like, it just reminded me of like high school golf, just like out there hoofing it, carrying your own bag in matches. And I'll
tell you this: the rounds that I carried this year, I played better. I don't know if it was like a focus thing and like kind of being in like, like, and maybe it's like this time between shots and stuff like that. But I felt like when I carried this year, I played better when I carried. Like, it was just, it kind of almost got me back in that like junior golf mode where it's like nothing really matters. But I'll tell you this, from a stress standpoint, walking just in general helps so much with that. Like, you can kind of get out and be in your own thoughts. You're not in a cart with someone else. Like, no, like, I love talking to people. Don't get me wrong, but there were times like I'd show up to Wednesday Night League. I'm like, this is going to be nice, just like getting out here and walking and just kind of enjoying the walk and playing golf at the same time.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. That's well done. I think last year, every league night except for one when we did a scramble, I think I walked. So
yeah, and I guess the three that I'm saying, like, it leads to that, right? Like, if we're playing a scramble, I'm like, dude, I can't be the only one walking. Like, so I think that 3 gives me enough leeway where it's like scramble night, or if it's 97 degrees outside, it gives me enough leeway.
Yeah, I like it. Okay, my last category here is a big one. This is the personal. This is kind of like the potpourri bucket, really. I listed under personal, but whatever. This is a wild ride. Just strap in for these. First off, I'm going to do a quarterly goals check-in with you. I want some accountability on these for myself.
We need to know where we're at on these before the next year.
Yeah, so we're gonna at the end of each quarter, we're gonna do a little quick check-in just to see where we're tracking, and it could be refining, getting rid of some things, it could be celebrating a win, whatever. But like, I want to check in on these. So that's one. This one might be my favorite goal in all of my goals. I want to go belly up to the bar 3 times this year.
I can help you with that.
Thank you.
I'll be your accountability partner with that.
And this is just like I said, I got young kids, whatever, working from home. Like, I'm stuck in the house a lot. So like, this is more of just like I need to go be an adult for a little bit, and just like let time disappear for a minute,
This is what, oh my God, this is going to sound so bad, but no, actually it's going to sound good. But, I think that it is one of the most American things you can do is belly up to a bar. I think there's a lot of great conversations, and I think a lot of great things have happened in our country and our world because people got into a bar and started having conversations and friendship and camaraderie. I'm getting emotional talking about it. I think it's hell, I've got 4 friends that I didn't have 5 years ago because, I go to the same place. Right. So, we got to make that happen. Yeah.
I just, what you just described, I just want to feel that energy in my life, Yeah.
And you don't have to like stay for 4 hours.
No.
Like, belly up for an hour and a half, have a few beers, talk to a few people, maybe play a little Keno.
Yeah, go be social, live a little. That's my goal for that one. So that's,
and I'll tell you, just from my point of view, is like why I do it is because my job, while I talk on the phone a lot, can be very very, very detached from like human contact, right? Mm-hmm. So I love doing it because it's like it gets me out. It's the reason why half the time I just go to coffee shops and work because I'm like, dude, I need like people around me. So I'd prefer beer being around, but a nice cold beverage. But yeah, that's a great mentally health goal, I think.
Thank you. That'll all come Q2 and later, of course, because we're not drinking.
Well, and after the Super Bowl.
So next one, been documented on this podcast actually that I'm not like a music buff really, but working at home down here, I've been like throwing on just more music in the background and stuff, and just kind of like listening to new stuff, whatever. I want to listen to the top 50 albums on the Rolling Stone Top 300 list this year.
That's a cool goal.
Yeah, I'm gonna do the top 50. I tried to do this where I started at the bottom and go up, and like I was gonna try to listen to all of them over a couple years. Well, and no offense to people down in the 300 level,
some of them are probably not very good.
Kind of like I'm just not gonna. Yeah, I'm not interested. But I feel like the top 50 is gonna be bangers. Number 50 on the list is Jay-Z's "The Blueprint," so we're starting off hot.
Oh God, how are you gonna make? I mean, yeah, that's a great starting point.
Yeah, I want to broaden my music a little bit, just kind of catch some vibes down here while I'm working. It's an easy thing to do. So yeah, that's what we're going to do. Listen to the top 50.
That leads. So real quick, side note, I told you I started watching Stranger Things.
Yeah.
Can't believe I waited this long to watch it. The commercials and like the Netflix Christmas football show, football games, those commercials, they sucked me in, and then I'm like, okay, I got to catch up when these new episodes come out. The music in that show,
yeah.
Oh, dude! I mean half the time I'm watching an episode, I'm dancing. Like,
that's the best thing that show had going for it, I think, is the soundtrack, because it's just like that time period, right? And
you know what? I rag on the 80s a lot, dude. Put me as a 10-year-old in the 80s. I'd have killed it. I would have killed it. I mean, I would have loved every minute of it.
I know.
Not an adult. Like, I want to be like a kid, like in this show, like they're 10, 12, 13, 15 years old. Like that seemed like a legit time to be be a kid.
Oh, for sure.
Because like you start having like new inventions and like new stuff come out, and like, you start getting into the technology thing, like Nintendo and stuff like just a cool time to be a kid.
Yeah, 80s and 90s had to be the GOAT kid period.
Yeah, and I remember enough of the 90s of like, you watch, just coming off of Christmas, you watch Home Alone, like I had a Walkman.
Yeah.
Like, dude, you want to talk about nostalgia, is seeing the Walkman in that movie, and it's like, dude, I had one of those. Those things were fucking awesome. Like, but
I know. So
yeah. Good. No, I just want to, when you said music, I'm like, dude, that soundtrack to that show rocks. Like, every episode has a banger, like every single one. Oh, yeah. So
very good. All right. This next run of goals is like the dad power hour right here. Okay. So we're going to go running back the play golf with Zach 5 times goal. I'm also going to do 3 non-golf father-son outings with him, because I don't want the only thing to be golf, right? Like we got to get out and do some other stuff. And he's at a really fun age where like he wants to hang out with me. So I need to take advantage of that. Right. And then also our middle child will be 3. So he's kind of getting to the point of like, he can do some stuff. So I want to take him on 3 father-son outings this year. Him and I don't ever really get out of the house without the other ones involved. So like I want a little more one-on-one time with him. I don't know what this is going to be. This one is probably the highest, or the number one contender for what's going to fall off of my list here, but it's got a good heart behind it. I want to do a family volunteer day. Like, I just want to do some kind of community service.
I mean, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, just like get out and be helpful to the community in some way.
I'll tell you, one of my fondest memories of Thanksgiving is I was in college. It was the first Thanksgiving that Danielle came home with me, and me, her, and my mom went down and volunteered at the Cincinnati Convention Center for their like Thanksgiving meal.
Yeah.
And look, it was a lot of work. I mean, I was the milk guy. You want to know what a homeless person wants? They want a fucking carton of milk. Yeah. And I was running this shit back and forth. I couldn't keep it filled. Like, it was a lot of work, but man, we like left there. I was like, and like I after I got done with my shift, like we kind of hung around and they're like, hey, go around, make sure everybody got to hit the stations and stuff like that. We don't want to feel like anybody like missed the station just to get in and have the food or whatever. And like just having like candid conversations with people that are in a less fortunate situation than you are. It's one, it's humbling. Two, it makes you feel very good about what you just did. Like, and you don't ask for thanks. You don't, nothing like that, but they do. Like, those people are the most polite people you'll ever meet in your entire life. So I agree. That's a cool thing to do. I haven't done it in a while, but I may add that to my list maybe.
Yeah, I did it a couple of years ago with work. We did like a free store food bank day, and that was really rewarding. But, it's part of it is, look, I've got a pretty privileged life. I can't complain about much. But damn, dude, I don't know how you feel about your kids, but like, I got to knock them down a couple pegs. Their life is way too charmed.
Look, every parent's goal in their life is to make their kids' life better than what they had.
Yeah.
I'd say me and you are doing a pretty good job of that, but it almost gets to the point where you're like, fuck, I don't want you to have it too good because I don't want you to feel like you're just going to get handed things every time, or handed things the rest of your life, because that is definitely not the case. But yeah, I agree with that. Like, especially now that I have like an 11, almost 12-year-old, like they need this. Like, look, we live in a neighborhood, like it's a nice area, right? Like, it's not like Beverly Hills or something like that, but it's pretty privileged, right? Like, I feel like my kids need to see something that's not like their little bubble, right? Like,
100%.
And I think that's a really good way to, in a controlled environment, to like introduce your kids to like, hey, your little 5-minute bubble you live in your neighborhood and all the friends you play with in your neighborhood, that is actually not real life. Like it is, but it's not, right? So yeah, I agree. That's knock them down a few pegs for sure.
Yeah, we got to build a little grit and be of service to others. Let's do that.
I always say, anytime my kids complain about something, I'm like, it builds character. You know, I'm making you do this, builds character, right?
That's right. Okay, next up. This is kind of a weird one, but I want to build something, and it can be literally or figuratively. This is very, very vague, I realize, but I'm gonna build something.
I like that.
Yeah, it's either going to be with my hands doing some kind of whatever, something at the house or something like that, or like
with your mind.
We built a podcast, right? Like I can, we can build some other shit. I don't know. We'll figure that one out. I also want to write something that's not work related. All of my writing nowadays is like, just writing emails and doing marketing, messaging, and things like that. So it could be, a letter, it could be poetry for all whatever. I just want to flex that creative muscle a little bit this year.
It's so funny you said that. It's funny. I'll get into my goal, but one of my goals is loosely based around what you just said. But go ahead.
Okay. And then last one, I already started this one today, actually. I want to this is the whole bucket. We're going to reduce some screen time, subscriptions, social media, just digital clutter. We're going to offload a bunch of digital clutter. I deleted and deactivated my Facebook today.
Did you really?
Yeah. Like I spend too much time on the mindless scrolling stuff, too many notifications coming through all the time, just like blitzkrieging my brain. Like we got to just digital declutter.
I don't know if I could do that. I'll just be honest with you. It's not like,
I don't know if I can either, but I'm going to try.
Yeah.
See if it's good for me or not,
Yep. Is that your last one?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
That's it for 2026.
Well, I just mentioned this one. This was down the list, but down a very short list, but it was down there. So I want to write a letter once a month to somebody.
That's awesome.
And mail it.
Yeah.
Like, we've just become so numb to just like, I'm going to email this person.
Yeah.
How many emails do you get a day? It's a fucking 1,000. I want to text this person. Well, I get 1,000 text messages. Like, I want to like write a letter to somebody, mail it to them, and like they get in the mail and they open and read it.
Yeah,
And
that's awesome.
like, it doesn't have to be some like long letter. Like, hey, just thinking about you, haven't talked to you in a while. You know, something like that, right? Doesn't have to be crazy, but I want to do that once a month.
Yeah, that's awesome. I love that.
Like, you know what made me think of it is when I was sending out Christmas cards and like putting stamps on things. I'm like, fuck, we don't mail anything. Like, we don't mail anything anymore, really.
No.
And if I do, it's like FedEx box getting something, mailing something back or whatever, you know, return or something like that. But yeah, I want to like normalize like writing a letter to somebody.
Yeah, that's great. I truly am. I want to hear more about this. I want to hear more.
And that's going to be one that I don't think I'll need a ton of accountability. Like, just I have a bunch of like blank cards. It's like just write a card to somebody and just mail it to them. Yep. So next one, this is pretty recent, but my kids got a 3D printer for Christmas. I'm not an engineer. Let's just put it that way. I have taken a CAD class before, so I do have some very novice skills there. I'm not going to say I'm an expert, but I think I'm going to be very committed to like learning more and like how to actually design. Like right now we have an app and you can go on and like print stuff off there, like people that have actually built it and like uploaded it there. But I want to at least design 3 different of my own designs this year on a 3D printer.
So you're building shit already.
Well, kinda. I'm using AI to help me build stuff.
That's fine.
It's a very humbling experience because there's a lot more to go into it than like getting in, you know, some AI bot and like typing like this is what I'm looking for. I need a 3D. There's a lot more that goes into it because like something like infill or anything like that design, like it can totally screw it up. Like just because Chat GPT or, you know, there's another one I use, like just because they put it together doesn't mean it's actually going to work. Right. There's a lot of trial and error for sure, but I want to design 3 things and like actually be able to print them out and they like turn out the way I want them to turn out. Yeah.
Hey, if you ever want to swap notes, reach out to my brother because he's big in the 3D printing space.
I'm going to move my camera real quick.
You're good.
But this was a design on the app. So it's like a ball mark, like, you know, how you can mark your ball. So this is a 3D printed like ball marker.
Oh, yeah. So to do like the line on your ball and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So pretty cool. I'm like, it surprised me how much interest I had in it. As soon as we opened the box, I'm like, fuck, this is awesome. Like, it's kind of awesome. Like, it's really, really cool. And so like, you just sit there and like watch it printing. Like, I think that's more the mesmerizing thing for me is like watching it like build up and like, it's really, really cool. So that's on the list as well. Oh shit. Let me pull my list back up here. So letter that, my last thing, I only had 3. My last thing is I want to give each of my kids their own day, not their birthday, but their own day where it's like, all right, you got 6 hours of us time. Like, what are we doing? What does that look like? You know, are we going to a dinner or where are we eating at? I want to give, again, it gets hard when you get over 2 kids. Like, I've noticed at points where it's like, if we're busy or whatever, like with this kid, we're not as busy with this kid. And if we're busy with this kid or these 2 kids, this one's not as busy. And I feel like it gets lost in translation, or they like, maybe they don't say it, but they kind of feel like, oh, like, when am I going to get to do something kind of thing? So my goal is to give each one of my kids a day where it's like, all right, what are we doing? Like, it's me and you, other kids are at home. Let's go do something, like, let's make a day of it kind of thing.
Yeah, it's very similar to what I put on mine too. I feel the same thing, especially like, you know, Zach's a little bit older than the other 2. So like right now we're doing potty training with, you know, Cole, and then Evans We're still just trying to. He's a baby, so you get all the baby stuff. You're trying to get him to sleep and eat all the time. So I've noticed that with Zach of him kind of feeling like he's not
especially
getting
the firstborns, right? They go from having mom and dad exclusively to holy shit, there's other people around now.
Yeah.
So it's a tough transition.
I kind of like the idea of making it like you get a day more than like a quality versus quantity situation. I might toy with mine a little bit on that, but we'll see.
Yeah. So that's my goal is like here in the next week, I'm going to get with them, like pick your day. Like, do you want it in the winter? I wouldn't suggest that, but when do you want it and what are we doing?
Yeah. That's cool.
Because like, I know like I've got 2 kids that have birthdays in cold months. Like that gives them the opportunity, like in July, being like, Dad, I want to have my day in July so we can go to Kings Island, or I want to go to this water park, or whatever it might be. Like it gives them the opportunity to be like, oh, my birthday kind of stinks. It's always going to be inside. At least it gives them another day of like, hey, I can have something warm where we go do stuff that I want to do. Right.
Yeah. That's for sure smart. Man, I feel way more energized than the beginning of this conversation.
Yeah, talking them through makes it a little more feels a little more real.
Yeah, I think now I've turned the corner into the new year and I'm ready now. I think just having had this conversation. All right, well, we'll report back on those. So everybody stay tuned. And hey, if you got some of your own goals you're excited about, or you heard us say something that you've got something that could help us with our goals, like shoot us some fan mail. That's links always down in the show description, or just if you have our numbers, text us, whatever. We'd love to hear about it.
Absolutely.
And from there, hard pivot into NFL season. The regular season just ended. We are staring down the barrel of the postseason. That means we've got what? I don't know.
1, 2,
how many games left?
See, you got what is it? You got 8 this weekend.
Is it 8 or 6?
It's 8, I think.
Not 6.
No, you got 3 on, or you got 2 on Saturday.
Yeah.
3 on Sunday, 1 on Monday.
Yeah.
Yep.
So 6 down to what?
4.
4.
Down to 2, down to 1.
2, down to 1. So 10, 11. 11 games left? 13 games left.
13 games left.
Math. Yeah, that's tough. Well, we had our draft that we did this year with our, I created this whole scoring system, thought that would be really fun. And all it's turned into is me just getting my ass beat left and right. You're up 60 points on me. We've got the other one we do on the side. Shout out to Joe and Aaron. I'm just like horrendously down bad in that one. It's not even funny. But me versus you have 215 points. I've got 155. You have 5 playoff teams with 3 division winners. I have 4 playoff teams, no division winners. Very impressive feat.
That's impressive.
Yeah, so we kind of the big misses from our draft. The Patriots and Bears are both 2 seeds, and the Seahawks are 1 seed. Undrafted teams.
Happened last year. Remember, we all passed on the Bills. So
yeah, we tried to call upon their demand. I feel like this year.
This year is exactly what we thought last year was going to be like.
Yes, this year is the year where it was like everything that I've tried to predict finally came to fruition, and I had flipped to go back to like, oh, this is the Chiefs are just going to win. All the easy layups that were supposed to happen did not happen, and it just absolutely crushed me. But yeah, so that's kind of where we're at. Your team's left. You've got the Broncos, who are a 1 seed. Good job on that. That's bonus points for you. You've got the Eagles coming out of the East and the Steelers coming out of the AFC North, and then the Rams and Texans were both wildcard teams for you. I've got all wildcard teams, like I said. I've got the Bills, Chargers, 49ers, and Packers. So, like, literally, like, probably the 4 teams you don't want to have. I guess the Bills may be a little above those other 3, but
I can only speak to one of those teams, and I haven't seen them win a game in a month. So,
yeah, well, me either. I feel bad. I feel like I gave your team the bad juju, so I apologize for that. But
I told you today, they played 3 starters yesterday, and 2 of them got hurt. It almost seems impossible. Like at this point, I put nothing. And what's funny is like I have very low expectations for how this game's going to go on Saturday. Do I think they got the most winnable game just from a standpoint of like these teams play each other a lot, like they know each other? Yes. So I'm like fully expecting to go deep into depression because they lose, or just be in shock that they found a way to win a playoff game with 27 guys on their injured list. Like, I don't know what will happen.
If, for them to make any kind of run, just like looking at it, like you're the 7 seed, right? So you got to go through the 2 seed, through the 1 seed, and then on to, I don't know, whoever would be left out of that. But like, you literally have to run the gauntlet if you're going to get there.
But I would say, Caleb Williams has been good this year. He has. He's had his moments though. But if you gave me a bucket to pick, like which quarterbacks I'd want to go through to get there, like what's the best chances, I probably would pick both of them. I don't want to play Jalen Hurts. Like, I know he's not been good this year, but
yeah,
he's also a Super Bowl winning quarterback. I don't want anything to do with that, right? Before probably the NFC Championship game. Then you have Matthew Stafford. I don't want to play Matthew Stafford either. You know what I mean? Like, if you're giving me the quarterbacks who I would choose to go through, 100% taking the 2 that we have to go through.
I would still feel, honestly, really good about the Packers if it wasn't for the Parsons injury. It's just so game changing for them. But yeah, I mean, you're right. Like, it's such a weird year in the league overall. It's, Sam Darnold could throw 5 picks and the Seahawks are cooked. Caleb Williams has like a historically low completion percentage. Like, you're not afraid necessarily of these teams. It's just like, really.
No, and people are probably like, well, Justin, you hate Brock Purdy. I'm like, dude, I have so much scar tissue from the 49ers. I want nothing to do with them either.
Exactly.
I don't care who their quarterback is. Like, dude, they can roll out Browning, Jake Browning, and I'd be nervous. I'd be like, we're definitely losing this game.
Yeah, and you might avoid, you probably will avoid that. So I don't know. It's an interesting bracket for the Packers if they've got any relative health and can play good defense. So
I think this year, and I think this is both sides, because you don't have your Baltimores and your Kansas Cities. You kind of got the same teams on the other side, on the NFC, the big players, right? You got the 49ers, you got the Packers, you got the Eagles, you got the big players over there. But from a standpoint of like injuries and like how teams have played, like it feels very open. Like, I just remember in past, like you'd have like the 1 and 2 seeds. You're like, damn, dude, we're a 6 or 7 seed going to these teams. Like, this is going to suck, right? Like, they're just that good. It doesn't feel that way this year.
No, every team you can literally point to it and you point out all the rewards, right? Like, there's not, even though some of the records are dominant, you're still not like afraid of them,
Yeah. Like,
it's crazy.
I think the 2 teams that probably people are the most scared of are neither 1 seeds. No, like, you have Jacksonville, I think, on the AFC side that I mean, their last 8 games they've won, and they've won by a margin of 19 points, which is almost unheard of in the NFL.
Yeah.
And then, the Rams, I think, on the NFC side, where it's like, you just want nothing to do with Matthew Stafford, who's a Super Bowl winning quarterback who just is good. Like, he's just good. He's old, but he's really, really good. I just don't think, and McVay, the coach, him being the type of coach he is, I just don't, and how they're playing and how they played kind of the whole year, other than a handful of games, I don't think you want anything to do with it. And one's a wild card team. So,
right. Man. Yeah.
Feels very open this year. It really feels like, to me, maybe other than the Steelers on the AFC side, I think I would probably be shocked, or would not be shocked, of any team making the Super Bowl.
No, I know. Just looking at the bracket, like Texans, Steelers, Bills, Jaguars, Chargers, Patriots, Broncos. Like, that just feels gross.
It doesn't feel right.
Like, I don't looking at the logos, I'm like, God, this is ugly. That's not pretty.
Well, I guess I should throw the Panthers in there. Like, Panthers, Steelers, if one of those teams make the Super Bowl, I'd probably be shocked.
Yeah.
But, like, outside of that, I'm like,
The thing with the Steelers is, like, I could see them going on a run, like, they're not good, but, like,
They got Aaron Rodgers. Like, it's just like, it is what it is. It's like, if that guy gets hot, he gets hot, and it's tough. It's tough to beat him.
Well, and again, it's like they play the Texans in the first round. The Texans, they won 12 games. That was news to me, man. All I heard all year long was about how C.J. Stroud can't play, and all of a sudden they got 12
their
wins.
defense is
filthy,
legit,
filthy. Will Anderson is I don't know if there's a better, like, I know there's probably guys that have more notoriety, but like him playing defensive end, watching him this year, oh my God,
incredible. Yeah. It's been pretty incredible. But I think outside those two teams, I don't know if I'd be shocked at any other team making the Super Bowl. Just from whether it be a brand standpoint or, who their quarterback is or whatever, wouldn't shock me outside of those two teams, any combination on either side.
Yeah.
But I did bring this up, didn't get a lot of love in our group chat, but QBR, and I know you said like limited snaps and stuff like that.
I'm joking.
But the QBR that I've used, if you go back years, and I said top 5, it's top 6. The 2 Super Bowl quarterbacks outside of 4 exceptions, Mahomes, Brady, Joe Burrow, and then actually last year, Jalen Hurts.
Yeah.
Top 6 QBR is usually the 2 quarterbacks that are going to make the Super Bowl. And this year, there's one out of the AFC. Drake May leads the league in QBR. And then I think there were 2 out of the NFC. It was Jordan Love and I believe I want to say it was Brock Purdy. As crazy as that sounds.
It was Brock Purdy.
Yeah.
I remember seeing the list.
Yeah.
Yeah,
there's exceptions to the rule, but you look at those names that are exceptions to the rule and you're like, okay, those are guys that are like top level, like high level talents.
Yeah. That's a good segue, I think, to let's make some picks here. We got the bracket here. Who do you like out of the NFC?
This kills me. I think the Eagles are I don't want that to happen. Like, that's why I know it's going to happen, right?
Yeah, your boy.
But like, dude, like when it comes down to it, like they just win games. Like, I know that sounds crazy, and we probably overlooked it last year with KC, like because they weren't very good. And I feel like this year is like now. Do I think they're going to win the Super Bowl? Absolutely not. I don't think so. But I think they're going to make it there again. They feel like the Kansas City from last year. Just kind of scrape by, like barely beat teams. You're like, God, they should have lost that game. Like, and they won, right? Yeah. And make it into the playoffs. Now, they're not the 1 seed, but they're the 3 seed. And it's like, it feels like they're not going to get the Packers probably. Like teams that like know them, like they're not going to get teams that know them. And I just feel like they're just going to scrape by it just enough in their 3 playoff games and make it back to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I mean, I don't hate that pick at all. I think they're probably my second favorite team. I want to take the Rams. I am nervous about just if they get the matchup with the Seahawks again.
Yeah, the Seahawks kind of have their number. Like, that's the tough thing. Like, you want a divisional team because you know them, but if it's a divisional team that has your number, you don't want anything to do. You know what I mean? Kind of thing. Yeah. That's kind of how I look at it anyway.
I honestly feel like the Seahawks are the most complete team in the league, with the caveat being that Darnold could just like full pumpkin on them, So it's like I can't confidently take them. I think I'm going to take the Rams out of the NFC. I think if Devontae
that was going to be my pick, but I just
the path is definitely probably cleaner for the Eagles.
For sure. That's more of what I was thinking, right? Yeah. You get the 49ers, terrible defense.
Yeah.
They're not a great offensive team, at least they haven't been this year. But it's kind of hard to believe that, like, that defense, they're going to not be able to score some points on them, especially throwing the ball, which they haven't done well, but they have the talent to do it well. They just haven't done it well this year. But the 49ers secondary is just it's bad. It's really, really bad. So, but then you got them, and then they're probably getting who in the next round, probably I guess a Rams at home, maybe. Would that be their next game?
I mean, if the Bears handle their business, they'd be going to Chicago. Philly would be.
Oh, okay. But I like them in that game. Like,
so do I.
I know they beat the Bears beat them early in the like around Thanksgiving time, but I think that was when like Philly was playing their absolute worst football.
Yeah,
and it feels like they're starting to play a little better, and it's like I don't know.
If the Packers win, then all of a sudden you get to host the winner of Carolina and LA. So like,
yeah,
it feels like a pretty. I think that's the Eagles are the play. If you're not going to take the Seahawks, I think the Eagles are probably the right call.
And again, like, and let's just say, I feel like it just feels like outside of the Bears, like they kind of have everybody's number, or it's a good matchup. You know what I mean? That's kind of why I'm like, I looked at it, I'm like, that feels like the team that is somehow going to scrape their way by and make it to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, and then flipping over to the AFC, I don't know. I have no idea. It feels like the Patriots are ahead of schedule, and the Broncos, like, I cannot get down with Bo Nix, man. I just can't. I watch him play, and I just can't.
Well, so his problem is he goes from a game that he had against the Packers, right? And you're like, wow, who was that guy? Like, played unbelievably well. He's making throws that you're like, I don't think I've seen you make a throw like that all year. And then he goes like to the next game or 2 games later against Jacksonville and just played awful football. And so I don't trust him at all. Don't trust him at all. I'm going with my statistics that I just said, where you're looking at QBR, you're looking at a quarterback that's playing really good. I know Drake May's young, but I think it's going to be Patriots and Eagles.
Yeah, you're convincing me of a lot right here. I think I'm going to flip in the NFC. I'm taking the Eagles now. I'm on board with the Eagles now. I'm less of an Eagles hater than you and some other people I know. So
I'm a Sirianni hater. I'm not an Eagles hater. I'm a Sirianni and their fans.
Yes,
I have no problem with Jay. I actually like Jalen Hurts. I actually like AJ Brown too. Like Devontae Smith, I like him. I think they all seem like great guys. Like I hate their fans and I hate their coach. That's pretty much it.
If that defense is healthy, I think they've got another gear they can still get to. So I like the Eagles, and I don't. Like I said, I don't love this in the AFC, but like I'm not gonna fall for the Bills trap. I want it to be the Bills, but like defense is not good, and it's just Josh Allen hero ball, and that's not gonna get it done.
Well, it's what happens is when you play a good run defense, which you're probably going to play in the playoffs, and they shut down their run game, it's over. It's like if they can't run the ball, and then Josh has got to do hero ball, it's over.
I just think any of these teams could also just run it down their throat too, so that's another thing. I want to take the Patriots, but I also think that I just think they're ahead of schedule, and it's hard to do it in your second year like that, and they don't really have like the difference between like him and a Burrow or whatever. Burrow had T. Higgins and Jamar Chase already.
It was a little different lineup out there. Yeah,
and Mike Vrabel is this. He's an excellent coach. Look, he's done this in 2 different spots now. But the kind of knock on him is that like he just doesn't get over the hump though. Like, he can win a lot of regular season games, but doesn't get done in the playoffs. I think I'm going to trust Sean Payton having been there, and they get a bye. They get to everything goes through Denver. That's a big advantage.
Great. Their defense is really, really good.
I think it's going to be. I'm going to go Eagles Broncos.
Okay.
Which I don't love from a watchability perspective, but
it's not the world's greatest Super Bowl for sure.
No.
Not a lot of stars, I guess Philly's probably got all the stars, really in reality.
Yeah.
Cortland Sutton's not a star. Bo Nix is not really a star. All the stars are on the Eagles side. So
I mean, if we're gonna dream, God, dude, if we could get Steelers Packers,
dude, let me see that again. I want to see it again. I want to see it again just because that was the last Super Bowl they won. So.
Would that not be nightmare scenario for you, though?
It would, because, and look, I know being in Cincinnati, I was probably, and I know Cincinnati fans hate Baltimore, but they hate the Steelers a lot more.
Yeah.
Dude, there was no way I was rooting against that guy last night. No chance. He's gone. and he left on some iffy terms. Like, it wasn't great. Like, they drafted a QB 2 years before he leaves, and they had that whole transition thing, which they've done in the past. Aaron was part of it with Brett Favre.
Yeah.
That last year was not great. They lose a win and end game. But that dude has given me so many great memories. I'm like, no chance I'm rooting against this guy. No way. And I won't. The whole playoffs, I will not root against them unless they play the Packers in the Super Bowl.
God.
But it is a nightmare. That's a nightmare scenario for me.
I think that would be the most fun potential Super Bowl.
And the chance of him getting his second Super Bowl, which he should have won with the Packers a long time ago, with another team will break my heart.
Yeah. Yeah, that'd be tough.
That might break me this year. The way things have gone this year, that would break me. With football, anyway.
Oh, man. All right.
Look, I have not watched one of my teams win a football game in a month, and it's sad.
Yeah,
it is not. It's not fun to watch. Football is not fun right now.
Well, thankfully, I don't have to watch my teams anymore, so we're good. We'll talk about them another time. We're a long episode tonight, so we're gonna head to the patio. We're gonna get a couple patio beers questions in. I'll go first because I know you're a sauna man yourself, right? I'm recently adopted the sauna. Went in there today for the first time in the new year. And I don't know how your sauna is set up at your place, but do you have is like a single bench or you got like the double bench where
double bench? Yeah.
Okay. I walk in today and immediately like by the door to my left, like to the point like they're right there and you can't look at what's going on, right? Because it's like, you're just kind of going in. But there's a man and a woman, I assume, in whatever kind of relationship they're in. And the guy's sitting on the top step and she's sitting like between his legs on the bottom one. And they're both like barely clothed because it's a sauna and some people do that. And he's like massaging her very aggressively, like shoulders and back. And I just know this is against etiquette. This should not happen in a sauna. But two, like if you're me, like I can't like turn around and go back. Like I can't walk in and out
because then they're gonna know like, oh, he's
so like I just had to I had to go in and just sit there in the awkwardness for as long as they were in there doing this and just like try to like head down in my phone or like close my eyes or whatever, just try to ignore what was happening. But it was truly bizarre. Did I do the right thing? Did I like? Yeah,
you got it. Yeah, I've ran into some weird stuff in the sauna before. You kind of just what I do is I go in. You have to go in. You can't turn around because then they're like, "Oh, he's not coming in here because of me," and they'll know it. Like it wasn't like all of a sudden you got a phone call and you like leave. You know what I mean? You did the right thing by going in. I close my eyes and try to I almost fall asleep. Not fall asleep, but kind of just relax and like if there were noises involved in that, I would have definitely put my headphones back in.
Yeah, I had my headphones in, thank God.
Yeah, I would have definitely done that. But one, that's weird behavior in a co-ed sauna because mine's co-ed as well. That's weird behavior. For someone that's been in the sauna with his wife, the last thing I would have thought of like, let me massage the sweat. You know what I mean? Like weird behavior. But you did the right thing by walking in and sitting down and just trying to ignore it.
Look, I should have known. I should have walked out before I got there. Because the way it is, there's like a whole spa area. So you go into it and then the sauna is a separate room or whatever. But there's like a little table and there's a place to hang up your jacket or whatever. And I saw something on the table I have never seen there before. There were 2 different types of lotion on the table. And I should have just turned around at that point, to be honest.
It's like, there's your sign. Like,
I was committed.
You wouldn't have known that. I mean,
yeah, well, they were like right there on the left where the door. So like, I couldn't see that there was even anyone actually in there or not. There was like, I couldn't visibly see them until I opened the door. I'm like, oh. So, yeah, just Happy New Year to me. It was first sauna trip of the year was an interesting one.
Yeah, you did the right thing though. You kind of had, and what I've noticed, like if someone's doing something they think maybe like is not like, I don't know, like in the unwritten rules, right?
Yeah.
and they're in there by themselves, what I found is like a lot of times like people stop it. Like as soon as you come in, like and sit down, they'll stop what they were doing.
Right.
Like big thing like in ours is like if someone's in there by themselves, like they'll get up and like stretch and like walk around a little bit.
Yeah.
Like I notice when you get in there, like people will stop doing that. Like they'll sit back down.
Sure.
So that's usually what happens, but it sounds like that was not the case here, which is even more weird for the record.
No, it was definitely not the case. It was bizarre, and you already know how I am just in general in these kind of situations. So extremely, extremely uncomfortable.
Oh, yeah, I love the sauna, but it is the one place you can run into some weird, maybe slightly uncomfortable situations, especially in a co-ed one.
Yeah.
Like,
because there's
like I've gone to gyms where they're like in the locker room and it's like a men's one, women's one, all separate. Like that one, like you're going to run into some naked dudes. Like it is what it is. Like that to me is like that's a locker room, right? Like it's not more of a sauna thing. It's just like a locker room thing,
right?
So that becomes like way less awkward after time. But like a co-ed one, like you do run into like I don't know. It's just could be kind of weird.
There's still some old dudes that'll take that chance, and that's what you can't have that.
Gosh,
it's terrifying.
Oh, so I can just like hear the noises. Like someone says something, I can just hear the noises. It doesn't sound great. Oh.
No.
All right, so. When I've been going back to Stranger Things, right? Like, and talking about the 80s and stuff like that. If you talk to someone in the 80s, like what they would bring back, what is one thing from your childhood? Can be a toy, can be how you used to do things, maybe in the house or whatever. If you could bring one thing back from your childhood, so like the 90s, like mid to late 90s, maybe early 2000s, like what would that be?
Man, there's so many different directions to go on this one. I don't know if we just took more risk back then or if we're just maybe too careful now, but like I spent a large chunk of my childhood just like hopping on my bike and running around my neighborhood for hours. With friends and even people I didn't know, just hanging out, doing whatever. Yep. Parents didn't know where I was. I knew I had to be back at a certain time, kind of thing. And I can't even imagine letting my kids do that today.
Yeah,
and I think I don't know if what change happened or whatever, but like I would like for that ability to be like for my kids to be able to experience that.
Yeah,
I think that's it for me.
I mean. I will say this. My best memories as a kid were hopping on my bike. I used to live by a par 3 course the first 15 years of my life. I remember like hopping on a bike with my golf clubs or hopping on a bike and just going down to that golf course that we could ride our bikes to. Or we had a park pretty close, like hopping down, riding our bikes down to that park, riding them around the trail and coming home. There was a softball park down there, like go down there and like get something at a concession stand because you like went somewhere to get something. Yeah. There used to be a drive-through we'd ride our bikes to. Those were like some of the like fondest memories from my childhood. Is like doing that and like, dude, riding a bike down there, like no one's gonna steal me. Like you know what I mean? Like, and your parents had no worries about that either.
Right.
Like that like normalizing that and like thinking about where I live now, like my kids could ride down to a convenience store or, we actually have a trail that leads down. Like they can get down to like a coffee shop, not that far away. Like they could take their bike down there. That to me would be, if they could do that, not going to happen. But if they could do that, that would be really cool to bring back.
Yeah. But I think that's one for sure. And then just real quick, I just kind of think that technology's gotten to a point where like, I kind of wish things were a little bit harder. Again, like like you mentioned the Walkman before, like what CDs were great. I mean, I know it's clutter and whatever stuff now, but like there's no like physical attachment to things anymore in some regards. So like I kind of miss some of that stuff that was more analog and more like, you know, you held in your hands and, you know, just that kind of like more less screen, feels like a more genuine experience. Like I miss just like those kind of things.
Yeah. So mine was two things. One was bringing back like normalizing like organized neighborhood sports.
Oh yeah.
Like, dude, we played every sport. Football, 5-on-5 in the street. We played wiffle ball in someone's backyard, like organized. Like we're picking teams. Like it's gonna be like a legit game we got going on here, right? Like normalizing that, and then also like kind of along what you just said, like there was nothing better. Like, hey, this album's coming out. Mom, can you please take me to the mall so I can go get a CD, like this CD?
Yeah.
Like, and then like, I don't know, like you kind of become detached from music when it's just like, everything's on here. Like I could listen to any song, and I know that's how you tell me 30 years ago, like, Justin, at some point in your life, you're going to have this thing that's the size of your hand that has every song ever made. You could listen to it right now. Yeah. I'd be like, that sounds fucking awesome. But then you get rid of CDs and stuff. And like, I remember having CD case and like having all these CDs and like something to like actually like someone would be like, hey, play this song. You're like flipping through the book, you know, like, oh yeah, here, and then put it in the CD player. Like there's something to that. That's like a physical, like touching it and like you finding it, right? Like in your CD collection. And playing that song, right? It's like, this is track 5 on this CD, and you know, you put it in. It's like, dude, like skip over it, and it's like, bam, you know. I don't know.
Yeah. There's like the fact that it's tangible. There's like you have some skin in the game, right? Like it's like you found that band somehow or whatever, and you went and bought their CD. So like it was like your thing. Now it's just like you said, it's just so detached. You know, it's in your. You pull up any song anytime, whenever.
Yeah, like we get in the car, my kids are like, I want to hear this song. I'm like, dude, I wish this was 25 years ago. I'd be like, oh, sorry, left the CD at home. They don't even like, you can't even say that anymore. It's like, Dad, we know you have Spotify. Like, you have that song. Like, play it. I'm like, God dang it. Like, there's something about the easiness of it is just not fun.
Yeah, there's like an ownership thing to it, too, you know?
Yeah, it's convenient for sure. I won't. Right. But the actual like process of it sucks.
Like, we sound very old, but like I kind of believe we're on the right side of this, if I'm being honest.
Well, I'll tell you, like everything makes a comeback, right? Like vinyls are making a comeback.
Oh yeah,
you know, like things like that. Because, and I'll be honest, my 11-year-old asked for the Taylor Swift vinyl. She came out with vinyls for her new record. You can go buy the vinyl for her new record. Yeah. And she wanted that. I'm like, well, one, you don't have a vinyl, like you don't have a record player. You can't just play this anywhere. This is not like, you can't, you know, I don't know what she thought. Like, I don't know if she like thought it would just automatically play. Like, I don't really know what she thought, but I'm like, it was kind of cool for her to ask for that. It's like, yeah, because like you can hold it in your hands, right?
Yeah.
And it's like the first Taylor Swift album that kind of came out that like, she's old enough to like realize what that means, right? And I remember like one of my first CDs I ever got, like the album that I went to the store and bought. Like I remember it to this day, and I was like, that's kind of cool. I remember that memory as a kid, but I'm like, I'm not getting you something you can't play, so like, kind of defeats the purpose. But no, that's good. Yeah, there's something. Nostalgia is a very good drug.
Yeah, but I also think, you know, not to get like too deep, and, you know, I'm not some great philosopher, but I do think, you know, AI is all the rage right now, and it's like just all this mass produced, you know, everything. And I think there will be a shift back towards like humanity at some point. Yeah. And people are just going to be done with like, you know, just it all feels fake, right? Like people want more real experience. I hope people want more real experiences in their lives.
Well, you know, I think we are turning that way. And for everything I've talked to about people, like what they got their kids for Christmas, a lot of kids wanted experiences, right? Like Mom, I want to go to this concert, or Dad, I want to go to this game. Like that's what I want my gift to be. Like I'm like, we're trending in the right direction.
Yeah.
Like, we went through this stage of like everything was like, I want this new iPhone for Christmas. I want this for this new technology for Christmas. And you get kids starting to ask for like experiences that there's hope. Yeah. There is hope.
Thank you for telling me there's hope. Man. All right, that's a great way to end it. An hour and 40 in. We had a lot to catch up on. It's been quite a number of weeks here since we chatted.
Long time.
Yeah, and like I said earlier, hit us up with your goals for the year. It's great to be back on the show and a new year, some excitement for the year ahead. So we won't see you on the patio for a while.
Yeah, but this time next episode we come out with, PGA Tour golf will be back in action. Yeah.
TGL is going on. Some of the worst marketing I've seen. I didn't know was happening.
Yeah. You texted that. I'm like, is it really on today?
Yeah.
Like I had to like double. I'm like, oh crap, it is on. Like I caught like the last 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Like terrible marketing. Terrible.
Yeah. Crazy. But yeah, we're getting close. Once the PGA Tour season kicks off, then I start to see the light at the end of the tunnel for our own.
100%.
So yeah. All right, everybody, enjoy the playoff football. Send us your goals if you want to do that. We'd be happy to hear it. So, but until next time, cheers.
See ya. Thank you for listening to another episode of the Back 9 Six-Pack. Be sure to follow us on Instagram and Twitter at Back 9 Six-Pack for all your content needs. We'll see you guys next week. Cheers.